How much should I tip in France? When you visit France, do you tip in France? The whole issue of tipping in France can be confusing for those travelers determined to identify the tourist mistakes to avoid in France. So since at AP Now, we strive to provide our audience with the information they need, be it about accounts payable, payments, fraud protection, or even tipping when they travel to France, we're here to help. Stick around until the end when I share the one big tipping don't, the behavior that absolutely you should not do in France. Now, whether you are a business traveler or traveling for your own personal enjoyment, what to do and what not to do in France is the same. First, be aware that by law, French restaurants will automatically add 15% for service. This is indicated on both the menu and the bill with the words, and my apologies to the French, service compris. That being said, number one, when having a meal, if the service was really good, you can add a little bit more. If you received good service, €1 or 2 per person would be appropriate. If it's a fancy restaurant, you might add another 5 to 10% to the bill. Tipping tip. The French won't have a place for you to add the gratuity, so carry a few extra euros with you for this purpose. That's probably a good old idea. Although not so great if you need a receipt for everything if you're going to be reimbursed by your company because it's business travel. There are a few more guidelines. Number two, if you're in a taxi, round up the fare or leave a tip of up to 5%. If they help you with your bags, 1 or 2 euros per bag is appropriate. If you're using a private car service, add 5 to 10% to the total. Number three, housekeeping in a hotel, for example, 2 to 4 euros per day. Like in the US, you're going to leave the gratuity on the night table. If you get your hair done, hairdressers usually get 5 to 10%. Tour guides, it depends. If you book directly with the tour guide, then it's not necessary. If you book through an agency, then you should probably give 10 to 20% depending upon the experience. Now, here's something that you may not know. If you go on one of those free tours that seem to be everywhere, while you are not required to tip, realize that that person's total income from that work they have comes from what they collect in tips. So be generous. Also keep in mind they have expenses, sometimes having to pay for the listing, for example. So if your experience was good, 5 or more euros per person is not unreasonable. Many business professionals and executives don't realize how complex the accounts payable and payment functions can be. That's why we regularly produce videos for this channel on both basic and emerging issues impacting those functions. You can watch one such video with some information right now using the link that will appear on your screen momentarily. Au revoir.